Hello and welcome to the energy report for November. This is an energy report for those of you who are supporting me on Patreon. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the magical messages from the fairies deck from Doreen Virtue. And I'm going to go ahead and shuffle up these cards and see what we come up with. So I just want to thank you for being here and being part of the membership group in this Patreon page. Okay, so I'm going to pull one card that represents the past and the present. And the future. And then I'm going to pull a fourth card that represents kind of a summary and an action step that we can take. So let me have a look here. Okay. Okay, so the first card that that came up for the past has to do with springtime. And the card itself says your desires will fully manifest as the flowers begin to bloom. So this being the past card, it feels like there were things that have been manifesting. There's things that were put into motion. It feels like even last winter, and some of those cycles completed themselves, and in the springtime, and then moving into the summer. So like it feels like these cards are all having to do with kind of a cycle of manifestation and having to do with how life goes in cycles, and reminding us that we have the ups and we have the downs. And in this picture, I'm just looking at it, there's this cute little girl in a beautiful flower, she's in the center of the flower in this beautiful garden, and there's this light coming down upon her, and there's a butterfly in the light. So that just feels like there's been a lot of shifting and changing and transformation that has been going on for everyone who this reading is for. So the next card has to do, it's called New Home, moving as a step in the right direction for you. So that's the card. Sorry, there's a little bit of a glare here with my light. But this really feels like it has to do with maybe not specifically moving to a new home, although that could be a possibility for you. But it just feels like it has to do with moving in general. So this is present time. This is, kind of tying into the previous card with spring and things manifesting. It's like the shifts and changes that are happening in the present time have been being manifested from the seeds that were planted, and quite possibly in the spring, because that card had to do with springtime. So again, just kind of looking at the picture in this card, and it's a beautiful, since they're fairy cards, there's lots of fairies, obviously, but this beautiful fairy, winged fairy, is sitting in this beautiful, looks like a morning glory flower, and just surrounded by all of this beauty. And it just feels very lovely, like a very, very beautiful, very nice space. So it's kind of like, it's almost like she's pausing and she's resting in the moment and appreciating everything that's come before this moment in time. And and she's really contemplating the work that she's done. She's contemplating the movement that's been happening. She's contemplating where she is, and she's just taking a moment to decide where her next steps are going to take her. And the third card, to me, really goes along with those other two. It says, goodbye to the old, hello to the new. You've finished one part of your life, and now a new and even better part is beginning. So as the future card, the seeds that were planted, enjoying the present moment, assessing where you've been and where you've come from, where you are now, and then looking forward to the direction you want to move in that I was kind of talking about. That just really feels like, she was going, okay, so what do I want now? What do I want to do now? Which direction do I want to go in? Do I want to continue on in the trajectory that I was moving in previously? Do I want to veer off to the right or the left? Do I want to bring some new things into the mix? So part of moving into that new energy is letting go of the old. Oftentimes we tend to hold on to the old, and it keeps us tied to the past. So really taking a look at the things that we need to let go of, or things that would be beneficial for us to let go of. Sometimes we want it all. I know sometimes I do. Sometimes we want to, like, I don't quite want to let go of that, but I want this. And the picture that I'm seeing right now is almost like crossing a crevasse of some sort, and it's like you need to let go of one, come on, like two ropes coming together. It's like you swing across this crevasse on a rope, kind of like Tarzan, and you grab a hold of the other one. But if you don't let go of the one from the past, you're going to be just stuck in the middle. So you have to let go of that past, grab onto that other rope, and swing into the new. So I always liked Tarzan when I was a kid, Tarzan and Jane. So those are old movies. Maybe none of you even remember that. But anyway, so letting go of the old so that you can move into the new. And oftentimes that's scary. It's like, even though we may not be really, really super happy or satisfied with the way things are, we know what to expect. So, and sometimes even as much as we want change, we ask for change, we look for change, and then when it comes, it's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with that? So, so really, to kind of recap this, celebrating the seeds that were planted, celebrating the reaping of the benefits of all of the shifts and changes and the intentions and things that manifested, really allowing yourself to shift into that new energy. The new home can also really represent where you are energetically, where your body is, the shifts and changes that you've made physically. Oftentimes our home for we as spirit is our physical body. So oftentimes in dreams and so forth, if you dream or find yourself in some sort of dwelling or some sort of house, it represents the body. So I feel like this really is connected to our physical bodies and where we are in time and space, and then letting go of the old so that we can move into the new. And then the final card, which is the action card, or tying it all together, is winter. The answers to your prayers and affirmations are fully realized in the winter months. So everything really coming to fruition, all of the work that you've done really coming together in this really magical picture in the winter months, which would be December, January, February. And I, for one, love unicorns. And one of my guides is actually a beautiful unicorn. So, and it just feels very magical too. The magic of the unicorns, it just feels very, very magical and very, what's the feeling I'm getting? Like a breath of fresh air, like, being up in the mountains and the air is very clear and crisp and clean, and you're surrounded by all the beautiful trees and all of nature. And it's just, a beautiful, beautiful energy. So, in terms of that being our action step, I would say just keep doing our best to, when we find ourselves being dragged into the past, reminding ourselves to let go, and maybe even visualizing stepping into that new energy, because this energy feels very different from where we are here to where we are there. This is all summery and beautiful flowers. This is wintertime. And also, as I'm looking at this card again, it really feels like, as we begin to receive the answers to our prayers and affirmations, as we begin to realize the things we've been manifesting, to really, move into this, the energy feels very gentle. It feels very, kind of going along with the winter of, hibernating and maybe not a lot of activity, doing more quiet activities, more things that kind of bring us inwards, that will really help us to anchor all of these new shifts and changes in our present time reality. So that's the energy reading for November. And thanks for joining me. And I will see you in December. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.